Welcome back. The Pitt homeless count taking place in Kamloops coming up fairly quickly now, March 28th. It's crept up on us for sure, but it's just around the corner now. Joining us today to talk about it and the details of how things are going, we have Lisa Bajkoff, the Pitt Count Coordinator, and Natica Bach, who is the Indigenous Engagement Coordinator. Yeah. Welcome to Midday, guys.
Hi, thanks for having
Yes.
us.
We've had you on a few times now, Lisa, to talk a little bit about how things are going. How is the planning going? I know that it's going to take a great deal of people and a great deal of coordinating to make this happen.
So we're basically in the wrapping up stages now. We have all our volunteers recruited. We have about 110 volunteers. That includes volunteers entering Emerald Center in Stewart Wood on March 27th, as well as people walking the streets, volunteers helping out at our drop-in stations. We did training last week. Things are going really well. Yeah, we're really excited now. Now it's countdown, really.
Is there training again on the 27th before you go out on the 28th, or what is happening on the 27th?
So on the 27th, we are doing the shelter count. So there's about 20 volunteers entering Stewart Wood and Emerald Center, and the staff is also there to support us. So we'll do the shelter count, surveying everyone that's staying in the shelter that night, and then on the 28th is when we actually walk the streets from 7 a.m. until 4 p.m.-ish, depending on how long. We're planning on being done by 4, but give or take. So on March 28th, we'll have 2 drop-in stations available. One is at United Church downtown at 421 St. Paul Street, and the other one is at Parkview Activity Center, 500 McDonald Avenue on the North Shore. So everyone that has volunteered in any capacity or is currently experiencing homelessness or without a permanent home of their own, they're more than welcome to come to, we invite them to come to our drop-in stations, fill out a survey there. We have outreach nurses available, harm reduction supplies, elders that that can do brushing or smudging. So if you see anyone on the streets the day of wearing one of these Everyone Counts badges and or one of these volunteer badges, be aware that they may survey you. Well, chances are very likely they're going to ask you a few questions, so it's a good opportunity to really engage the whole community in the process.
How many communities, ballpark, are doing this at the same time across the country?
60. So, yeah, 60 communities. Everyone every community picks their own day. It has to be between March and April. We chose March because the shelters are then still open, and it would be easy for us to, to get those individuals as well.
Okay. Natica, how, being the Indigenous Engagement Coordinator, what role do you play in this?
So the role that I play is to bring things from an Indigenous perspective. So there's an overrepresentation of Indigenous people in the homeless population. And what I've learned is that Stewart Wood, about 60% of the folks that stay there are Indigenous, and out of the cold, it's about 70%. So we are looking at indigenizing this so that we are better able to connect with our people. And so there's different things that we're doing. So we have elders coming. We, through the training packages, we talked quite a lot about the Indigenous definition of homelessness, and I brought in these pieces and that kind of thing. So moving forward, that would be how we would do this again in 2 years' time, would be to keep following that standard, because it's really important for our community to see themselves in these processes, no matter what they are, right? Yeah.
And I understand that when you are out meeting people, there's going to be backpacks handed out as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So we have essential bags for everyone that has been screened in as somebody experiencing homelessness. Yeah, so we have essential bags that are filled with feminine hygiene items, soap, socks, underwear. We have some water bottles available. And most importantly, we also have pamphlets that invites them to come to our drop-in stations and enjoy a warm meal. We have counselors available at those stations, support workers, outreach nurses, harm reduction supplies. So we want to make sure that everyone feels welcome to join us. Yeah, to have a warm meal, to talk, socialize, hang out for a little bit. be part of what we're doing, because everyone counts. So yeah.
At the end of the day, and we only have about 30 seconds left, unfortunately, but what will come of the results of this count? Where will those numbers go? Who will see them?
So they're available to anyone within Kamloops. So the city of Kamloops is responsible for distributing those numbers and the correlations that we will draw from our data that we collect. And then the core questions that are also embedded in our survey are then being reported to the federal government, along with a report that will be done by the end of June and will be available to the public as well.
And this will become every second year, not every second year?
Yes, so the PIT count nationally funded by HPS is only so far every 2 years.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Fantastic, ladies. If there's anybody out there who wants to get involved, volunteer, we have a variety of contact information on the screen. Can they do that via Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Again, this count is taking place March 28th. If you would like to get involved, you can absolutely do that by reaching out with the contact information on the screen. We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.